Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, Housewife Historian. You can call me Lindsay. Hey Jojo. Today we are talking Tom Girardi and the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and how we had a federal indictment come out that shows that they are going after him criminally. So we are concerned about how long he could actually be looking at going to prison. And of course, everything in this video is alleged. My daughter's going to say hi real quick, aren't you? And then you're going to go back in the living room with Dada? Go? Yeah. We are not feeling well today and don't want to take a nap. So we're hanging out with Mom. But we're talking about Tom and these indictments and how nobody is talking about the fact that he could be going to prison for a very long time. There were 3 people named in the indictments, and one of them is sitting in jail right now because they couldn't get bond. So that's scary for Tom because if they put a high bond on him, then how's he going to come up with the money? And if he has the money, then the court's going to be looking at him like, where did you come up with this $250,000 when you owe victims millions and millions of dollars? So Tom is probably really screwed unless if they bend the rules for him. I mean, we have to remember that it is the federal government, but Tom has deep ties with the legal system. He's been doing this for like 60 years. He had paper files on everyone in Hollywood. The man had connections. That's how he got away with this for so long. When I read over the California bar, they put out a 6-page statement, and there were 139 complaints made from 2010 to 2020 about Girardi and Keese and them not paying the clients. So 139 complaints and nobody looked into it. Like, that sounds like they were ignoring it. Right? I mean, 139 complaints and nobody asked any questions and said, like, we might have a problem here. So what does that tell us? Either he's paying off all of these people to not say anything, or that he's so powerful they just look the other way and nobody wants to take him on, because he has dirt on everyone and he has paper files, and his ties in Hollywood and the judicial system there run deep. So we're going to talk about all of that today, guys. I'm excited. We're going to break that down. I don't think it's getting enough attention because I don't think people understand that this is like a federal indictment with it's criminal. So, like, the consequences are prison time. All of the other cases we've seen, they sounded serious, but they were civil, and civil court is very different from criminal court. Very, very, very different. So we're going to see a whole different transaction happen now that these indictments have hit against Tom Girardi, because he will have to start appearing in court. He will have to make a plea. He will have to find a criminal attorney that's willing to represent him and take on the federal government, who, we just saw with Jen Shaw's case, how that happened. Everyone turned evidence. They all wrote statements against her. And when it was all said and done, she was the only one left standing. So she took the fall. That's how it goes. Anything on Erika? Okay, Jojo, that is a great question. Is she working with the feds? If these indictments continue to come down the line, because that's kind of what's happening, right? We saw the CFO. He got arrested in November. He's also been sitting in jail since then. Now we have David Libra, who is Tom's ex-son-in-law, and Tom Girardi. And so it's trickling down the line a little bit. If we don't see Erika have any criminal charges pressed against her for something, even a simple receiving stolen property, because listen, this American Express card was named in the indictment, and that's very important because Erika used the American Express card, 25 million on the American Express card. That's what EJ Global used for everything. So she received stolen property at the very, very least. So if she comes out of this with nothing, No, nothing, then we know she definitely cooperated. And when Tom goes to trial, he'll have a right to defend himself against his accusers, and they have what's called like a discovery um part of the trial where all of like the allegations or evidence that the state or the government has against you is available for you to review, so they would know who was writing statements against him. If they wore a wire on him, he would be able to hear the conversation. And this is a lot. Tom is very calculated because he already put in play the fact that he has Alzheimer's, right? Because this is really, really important because the judicial system, they take pregnant women to prison, they take people in wheelchairs to prison, they take people with cancer to prison. Like, if you're going to prison, you are going to prison. Like, they don't, people, I've, some people think, oh, if I go get pregnant, they won't send me to prison. Yes, they will send you to prison. So Tom immediately came out with his Alzheimer's, dementia. Uh, he planted the seed, right? And like, let's even consider the fact that he was running a multi-million dollar Ponzi scheme up until the very time he got caught and COVID hit, and then all of a sudden, all of this dementia and memory issues. And so that really helps him in a criminal case because of the fact that the government would have to fund all of his medical expenses. Contrary to what people think, there are not like a lot of federal facilities in lieu of prison because somebody is there's a lot of mentally ill people in prison. There's a lot of mentally ill people in prison. um I don't know, like, there's old people in prison too. They I mean, they have wheelchairs, some of them. Some of them have like little things that they push along with them. Um, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I don't know if the whole dementia thing is going to work all the way down the line when it comes time for sentencing. Now, it's also possible that Tom could just keep postponing this until, I don't know. I mean, he's 82 years old now, guys. 82 years old. Um, Everyone, though, let's say hi. We'll talk some more and get into this. I'm glad you guys joined me. Jojo, Groovy, Kayla. Everyone is here. Anyone? Where are you guys from? Everyone from today? Make sure you guys hit the like button too. Okay, honey, you go watch your tablet. Go on. And also we have to talk about the fact that since the indictment, we haven't seen the fact that where is Tom Girardi? Where is David? Like, why haven't they been served with the indictment and posted a bond? The other gentleman on the indictment, like I told you guys, he was arrested at JFK Airport. He's sitting in a county jail. So not all county jails can hold federal inmates. Most county jails hold state inmates. So it kind of can cause a little bit of a problem if you have federal people that need to be held in a federal institution. They have to find a county jail that can do that. And that is where he is being housed. Rhode Island, Jojo said. Portland, Oregon. Oh, all over today. Hi, Victoria. Hi, Jojo. So if he's in the county, then he is not living a great, it's rough in there for him, I'm sure, considering that he just went from the Bahamas and living the life of a luxury in LA, and now he's in a county jail. So that's not a great thing for Girardi. They don't have like they have what I can't think of the word, like whenever some people are sick and they know that they're about to pass. I can't think what the word is. Guys, I'm gonna pause for 1 second and go take care of my daughter for 1 second. If you guys don't mind just chatting along, give me 2 seconds. Sometimes we have to do this. Come on, sissy. Okay, guys, I had to put Paw Patrol on, okay? Now the baby is happy. She's sick, so I feel bad. Okay, guys, let's get into this. Kayla says it's not going to be as simple as Jen Shaw's case. I don't think we'll hear a verdict soon. Oh no, absolutely not. It took the feds 10 years actually to come up with Jen Shaw's indictment. Too much money, too smart of lawyers. Absolutely. Jojo says, isn't she get? Sorry, I should be putting these up here. Isn't she getting money from a man in Florida? Oh, yeah, from someone she stashed money. JoJo's right because they were pressing about who was paying her legal bills. They wanted to know who the heck was paying all of Erika's legal bills because they're expensive. And it came out to be like some guy in Florida that was like a friend. She's been seen since the indictment. P.S. If you guys want to hear the audio, I can try to find it. But she was seen coming out of somewhere, and she had her hair up in like one of those greasy buns and her sunglasses on and like sweatpants. And she was approached by a paparazzi, and they were like, "Hey, did you hear about the indictment?" She was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Do you have anything to say about it?" And she's like, "I have a lot to say, but not right now," basically. So, sorry, plugging my phone in. Um, who knows with Erika? Again, I don't think that Erika would. She knows how deep all of this runs, and that's the only thing that makes me think that she would maybe not tell everything that she knows. But I don't know. I just think to save her own ass, she's gonna do whatever she has to do. Like Erica's not trying to go to prison. She's not trying to have integrity. Like the whole world already thinks like that they're like thieving and conniving. So like she's okay with that. She's like, you guys can think whatever you want. I just don't want to go to prison today or tomorrow. So I think that's I think we're gonna find out Erika. JoJo says her attitude alone was a crime. That's hilarious. Angel Eyes says he's going to prison and so is she. That's what I was trying to say. They don't have like a elderly person floor. They have like a what is it called? Like their medical is called, I can't remember the name of it. Um, and sometimes they'll keep like elderly, like really, really elderly people there. But if you're passing and you're in prison, typically they have like a floor of a hospital that they turn into a hospice. And that's where the inmate stays until they pass. Um, Angel Eyes said the IRS will get her. Angel Eyes, that's a really great point. The IRS will get her. Jojo said $150,000 a month she was getting, wasn't it? Something insane. Um, they do have a lot of people with Alzheimer's in prison, though. Exactly, Angel Eyes. Like they don't care. There's a lot of mentally ill people that have committed crimes and they're in prison for it. Um, it's a hospital ward in a jail. Yeah, it could. Just depending on if it's a state facility or a federal facility. I'm more familiar with state facilities and how they do things. The federal government, because it's federal, it's all over the entire United States. So, um, that's why Jen Shaw wanted to go to Texas because that was probably the like lowest security level, nicest federal prison around her. And Teresa got lucky because she went to the same prison that Martha Stewart went to. Listen, Jojo makes a great point. She's living too well to be broke. I want to tell you guys a couple of things that I picked up from the articles when I was going over them, and I am waiting for a response from Ronald Richards. You guys know him as one of, he's become basically a legal commentary ever since this all happened with Tom and Erika. He has taken to Twitter and really done a great job of breaking down judicial hearings and filings. And so I am waiting to hear back what he says as it pertains to why we haven't seen him sign an indictment. Are you all done? Thank you. Good job. You want more? I'll get you some more in a little bit, okay? Thank you. Will you put this in the sink for mommy?
No, sink.
Thank you. Be a big girl and put it in the sink. Kids these days, right? So anyways, I'm waiting on Ronald Richards to answer me to let me know why we haven't heard what's going on with his indictment. They did say that there's a competency hearing coming up in February that allegedly they were possibly going to do the filing and the arrest then. But I have not been able to find that on any sort of legal sites or anything like that. In some of the comments, Gloria says they may have mentally ill people in prison, but because of who is involved in this case, that won't happen with Tom. I'm sure Newsom owes Girardi a few too many favors. Gloria, you're exactly right. We have to remember that he is going to be even though it's a federal case, he still has long ties to the judicial system in California and nationwide. The money that man forked out in political things, like, you guys would be astonished if you went through all of the records. And Ronald Richards posted a lot of that on Twitter. So I understand, but can you give mommy 5 minutes, please? Yeah, I know you want kiwi, but mommy will come get for you in a minute, okay? Sit down in the living room. And I will be out to get you in a second and get you some kiwi. We're eating kiwi because it's healthy for us. RB said, I feel so bad for the victims. So do I. And then Angel Eye says, Bravo needs to fire Erika. Jojo says she should have fired when she said, I don't give a damn about anyone but myself. Yeah, they definitely, this is another thing I wanted to mention, guys. When I went through the indictment, a lot of the numbers, like the 3 million, the 18 million from this victim, 3 million from this victim, the bulk of the money from the victims that was spent on that American Express card that we saw, that was EJ Global, the 25 million that Erika racked up paying for the travels of all of her staff and everyone. And that's allegedly, Tom, if he wouldn't have paid that 25 million, would he be in the situation he was in now? Was he really doing this all for Erika? Groovy said, oh, honey, we will catch up later. You can take care of your baby. Oh, thank you so much, Groovy. She's good. She didn't take a nap today, but she's had strawberry and kiwi and yogurt, and she's having fun running back and forth. I'm sure that I'll take care of her in a few minutes. And I cooked chili and I made it too sweet. And I don't know if any of you guys have any suggestions, but I put vinegar in it. I'm just crossing my fingers that it tastes better after it cooks for a little bit. But back to the Girardis. I haven't been able to find anything about, I just want to know what his bond is going to be. Are they going to let him out on his own recognizance? I want to know also, there's been a few articles that have said something without saying it as it pertains to Erika's son. And they also talk about how anyone who had cards linked to these accounts could be facing charges. And when they said that in the article, I knew immediately that they are talking about people like Erika's son and Tom's daughter and Tom's grandchildren and different people that had, that one account from Bank of America. And a lot of people wanted to say that the filing about Bank of America and the whole spelling manner wasn't true. But the CEO of Bank of America stepped down after all of that happened. So there must be some sort of merit to that. Anyways, that report alleged that there were 26 debit cards linked to this account that they could take out from 2,600 a day was the max. And that Erika was withdrawing off of this account even after everything went bust in 2020. It wasn't until close to when the civil case was filed about the spelling manner did she stop withdrawing money off of those accounts with those cards. And they had footage of her. They filed it with the court. Jojo says, is that the spelling? Yeah, that was the spelling civil case that was filed. 26 different cards linked to one account. They were withdrawing up to $2,600 a day. And again, like I said, the CFO of Bank of America stepped down. So what does that say? There must be something going on. I mean, wasn't Mo part of that too? He was, JoJo. Gosh, you got a good memory. I love you guys so much. Some of my subscribers are so amazing. That's why I want to get like gold stars and little trophies for you guys. Yes, he was named in that suit about the spelling manner. And that, again, was another reason I was trying to hope that people would understand that there were so many big names mentioned in that suit. Mo was mentioned. Kathy Hilton's husband was mentioned. The Girardis were mentioned. So they wanted it to be swept under the rug. People didn't want that information to come to light. So there were more people trying to get that report swept under the rug than there were trying to bring it to light. And I think that's why they tried to have people discredit it as much as possible. And even though Ronald Richards does a great job of giving us a lot of legal commentary, he still lives in little tiny Beverly Hills. And I'm not saying it in a bad way, but I'm just saying Beverly Hills is small. They know each other's business. They see each other. He didn't want to come out and be talking bad about Rick Hilton and Mo and all of these people. He didn't want to make enemies either. So, oh, Angel Eyes, thank you. I'm so glad you noticed. She said, Angel Eyes said, I love your plaque in the back. Thank you. I bought it a long time ago, and I just was like, this just feels fitting for right now. I don't know what I want to do with my background all the way, but for right now, this is where I'm at. Angel says they're all corrupt in California, and this is a great comment. Angel Eyes, California does have a tendency to be a little bit corrupt. We've seen it in the local police department, and we have Erika's son working in the local police department, which is frankly a little bit scary to think what he was doing. Because it's kind of like, I mean, I feel like Girardi was like had people planted everywhere, and they all had money that they had to bribe people with in situations. It's crazy. Um, Jojo says, how funny how much money Mo and Kyle has made. Another great point, guys. Since they got on the show, they literally like doubled their net worth every year for like 6 years in a row. To where they're at today, which is like 80 million. And that's really, really insane. When we first met Kyle, she shopped at Target. She made fun of Camille Grammer for wearing name brand clothes while she was shopping at Target. I love Target. Target's not even inexpensive these days. Target's like it's getting to be like closer to like JC Penney prices. But just saying, with that being said, Kyle's come a long way. Like they I don't know how they've done it. I don't know how someone doubles their net worth every year for like 7 years straight. That's a long time. Gloria says, a little corrupt, way corrupt. I wonder if the thief's son was indicted for using those BOA cards, if she'd be heartbroken. She has never really struck me as loving or motherly. Me either, or nurturing. Gloria says, I wonder how deep it goes. Imagine if we could get the truth, how many people in Beverly Hills, Hollywood, California, and federal politicians would go down. A lot, because he donated, I think they had record of like 17,000 to like the Democratic presidential campaign, I think. Like, he was into politics, and he was in California, and he was, doing his thing. He was paying people. He basically had a cash. He was spending money like it was never going to run out ever. So he did whatever he wanted, and he put people in place for specific reasons. And I think that we will never really know how deep his connections go. But just from what we've seen from their life, a little bit, we know that it's deep. We know that the son works in the local jurisdiction of the police department. We know their very first scene on The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the chief of police came over and kissed them, stood up, said hello at lunch, and kissed Erika and said he loved her, the chief of police. We know that Tom Girardi had paper files on everyone in Hollywood, that he literally had been practicing law there since like the 60s, and that allegedly the government went in like hazmat suits and took those files and all of that information out of that office because there was information on a lot of important people. We also know that there were 139 complaints made to the California State Bar as it pertains to Girardi and Keese and people, victims, not getting their money. And some of these people, again, they were from Indonesia. Like $1,000 to them is probably like a lot of money. It could change their life. Let's see some comments here. Haley says, "Hi, Lindsay. I used to live in LA. It's very corrupt. I believe you." Jojo says, "People are lawyering up for sure." Angel Eyes said, "I remember that scene with Dana. Remember Tom saying how expensive she was?" Yes. And that's what I'm like. Hypothetically, say Tom like ran out of money and he had to steal just to take care of himself in the mansion, right? Hypothetically, he ran out of money and he's like, all right, I just need to pay for the mansion and my car, and kind of, I think he would have stole more like $3 or $5 million, right? But when he had Erika to support and he had her on a TV show that was about luxury and she wanted to be a singer. Guys, all of those times that we saw her go places and perform, those are usually situations where people sponsor you to do that. They pay for you to go there. Maybe you don't make any money, but they like at least sponsor your travel expenses and such. And Erika, that wasn't the case. She covered everything. She was like, just let me sing. That's all you have to do. I'll take care of everything. Like she basically was paying people to work, if that makes any sense. But that's really what was happening. And I've said this before in my other videos. Erika went to like a company and she paid them to tell her what sort of demographic would be best for her, like most well received, if you will, um, for her singing career because she wanted to be a singer. So they told her that the LGBTQ community would likely be her best avenue to market to because they would accept her and she would probably get her best results if she pivoted towards them. And so that's what she did, but she still wasn't successful. She paid to perform. The crowd didn't know her. Her makeup artist said that. Make It Make Sense says it becomes a scam. It's how unbelievable. I mean, the makeup artist did a whole write up and said that he was flown first class. It was first class all the way for everybody. It was champagne. He talked about what a great employer Tom was because he paid him his salary 2 weeks after he had quit. Like, just craziness. It's really insane. And Erika is out here withdrawing money off of these cards through this Bank of America. She's got this man in Florida that's paying her legal fees that we've never seen or heard of. That right there is suspicious. Um, why is this man paying her legal fees? We didn't even know Tom and this man were friends. That doesn't make any sense. And again, I just want to know, are they going to let Tom Girardi out on his own recognizance? Are they going to make him post a bond? The bond would have to be astronomical because if they're saying you stole $25 million, I would think you would have a pretty high bond, right? And then if he comes up with the money, they're gonna be like, "Where'd you come up with this money?" Because his brother's a dentist, and his brother's not like a dentist that owns like a chain of like dentist office. The dentist, he has like a little, not a little, but he has like an office in a nice little ocean town over in Orange County. So he's probably making decent money, but he's not making uh robbing victims, widows, and children money. So just say, make it make sense is the LGBT community would accept an aging lady of the night who flaunted labels and talked about a sexual lifestyle she was not living. I don't think she was living. Well, Hugh Hefner though. Hugh Hefner was living a very um what's the word? A very active sex life when he was really old. I was surprised to hear that. When Holly and them did those interviews and they talked about how Hugh Hefner they would have to sleep with him, like they would just go one right after the other, and so they would try to be first in line so they didn't have to go after everyone else. Jojo had an experience and expensive dancers too. Kayla, there's a certain pattern on a reality show, always ends up in jail. That's actually a really great point. There was a blind item. Thank you for saying that because I wanted to talk to you guys about this blind item and see what you guys thought, because that's sort of what the blind item was stating, because we've been talking for a long time, guys, that is Bravo not vetting anyone? We thought that when they brought Jenny on the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City and she had posted those racial um memes on Facebook, and it was only a year prior to her coming on to the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and so everyone kind of is left looking at themselves like, is Bravo vetting these people at all, or are they just like, yeah, it looks good on camera, sign here? It just I don't know. How did you guys not catch that? There's been a lot of situations like that with these ladies, and Bravo seems to take no responsibility for it. um Oh, it's so small. It's so small. This blind item came out yesterday from the Crazy Days and Nights. You guys know they always do the blind items. Some people stick their labels on it, but usually they come, if it's not an anonymous, if it's an actual blind item, it's usually coming from the Hollywood Days and Nights. This one says, this one's from Wednesday, February 1st, blind item 9. Because of something a housewife recently pulled, not to mention the now former housewife headed to jail, there is going to be a new clause in contracts which will further restrict how housewives can make money outside of the franchise. That's interesting because I don't know. Are they talking about Robin in there though? Because of the way they said, um, because of something this housewife recently pulled. I I don't know if they're insinuating that the clause is going to help cut down on criminal activity. Like, you can't make any more money outside of the show because we're scared it might be criminal activity on how you're making your money. So while you're on the show, you can't work because you're obviously doing illegal things with your job. So you can't work. You just have to be a housewife. That's so wild. Um, let's see here. Funny story. Her Mikey came into my job in Miami 2 weeks ago. No way, Haley. What happened? Tell us everything. Start from the beginning and don't leave anything out. Yes, Mikey, her stylist. I'm really starting to rethink Bravo and not wanting anything to do with them anymore. It's all lies and bullshit. I know, Angel. Haley is back. She said she saw Mikey, and then also Marisol from Real Housewives of Miami. How did Marisol look in person? And Jojo wants to know, was she sober? No, I think Marisol is a heavy drinker. I don't think that's an act at all. I did hear, guys, from on Behind the Velvet Rope, he had Anne on from the Real Housewives of Miami, like season 2 or something, and she alleged that Marisol gets a writer to help her every season come up with these one-liners that she uses in her confessionals. That's a little tea for y'all, by the way. Angel Eyes says she was sober. Haley said he knows someone who works with me very well, actually. Marisol was drinking. I believe that. Mikey's been around for a really long time, I feel like. And the other guy that helped style Erika, I can't remember his name. He's been around a long time too, but there were rumors about him on Twitter that I can't talk about. But the blind items, sorry guys, do you want to see the blind item? Sometimes I feel like that helps if I share my screen and you guys can read it yourselves. Because it's obviously everyone is shook about Robin too and this whole Juan thing. And it's like really throwing a wrench in the whole Tom Girardi thing because people are so used to hearing Tom Girardi cases every other day in the news. There's something about Tom Girardi and Erika. And so they don't think it's like a big deal. And now, right now, it's like, no, this is the biggest deal out of all of them. This is more important than any of the civil cases because this is criminal. And guys, if I had to think of Tom Girardi sleeping in a county jail, I just, I can't even imagine. I just cannot even imagine him like going into jail. And I just can't. I don't know what they're going to do with him, but I just can't even imagine it. I'm sorry. I can't. I don't know if I'm in the studio though. I didn't enter myself. I must not be in. 1 second. That's weird. I wanted to show you guys the blind item myself so that you guys, oh, there we go. Sorry. I wanted you guys to be able to see it because I feel like it's easier if you guys can see it yourselves. Okay, here we go. Also, guys, don't forget that I have a really good video that I'm going to do that's going to be all about the house in the Pasadena mansion because I came across all of these pictures. I had a gold mine of photos and stuff from inside the Pasadena mansion before it was sold. And so I thought that you guys might enjoy a video, all the pictures. I mean, a lot of pictures of all of the different rooms, all of the hallways, there's the chapel and everything. Angel Eyes says Marisol says she sure does like her cockies and her cookies. Oh yeah, I'm sure. I mean, we know that Alexia's boyfriend was part of like the cowboy thing, you know. He was one of the cowboy I don't think you're supposed to be able to say it on here. So you guys know what I'm talking about. He was like a cowboy for the cocoa plant, if you will, I guess. And I just like think to myself, like, if somebody that didn't like Coca-Cola and like they dated someone that just sold hella Coca-Cola all the time and that's how they made their money and would you try the Coca-Cola? Like wouldn't you probably, I mean, it would be around all the time and everyone would be coming to buy it and you'd be making money because the Coca-Cola is so amazing. I don't know, just made me kind of feel like Alexia probably had like a little bit of a rowdy spirit in her younger days. Like, not saying nothing against her now, of course, because she's lovely, but it just definitely made me think, oh, you probably like to get down when you were younger, didn't you, Alexia? Jojo said I spent one night in the county jail, no pillow, no blanket, no mattress, a toilet with nothing blocking the camera. That's why I said, guys, don't go in there saying like, if you're scared, there's no protection, is just solitary confinement. Like if you go in, if Tom goes in there and says he's scared, they're just gonna put him in a cell by himself and he'll be in solitary confinement. Like there's no protection. And if you say that you're going to harm yourself because you think that maybe they'll take you to the hospital instead, that's the worst thing that you can do because that's how those people end up in those turtle suits. I.e., the guy from the Idaho murders. If you guys look at his mugshot, he's in like that green suit, aka a turtle suit. Okay. And they put you in a turtle suit if during your intake into the county jail, they ask you questions if they think that you're suicidal or that you want to harm yourself. And if you think for 1 second, oh, maybe if they think that I want to, unalive myself, they'll take me to the hospital. That's very wrong. They won't. They will put you in a turtle suit. And then they will take you to a room that is a cell that probably has a big window where everyone can see you in your turtle suit, because you are now being monitored, because they think you're going to hurt yourself. So that means you can't have a blanket or a pillow or underwear or nothing. Pretty much just the turtle suit. You in the turtle suit. And the guard that's going to walk by every 20 minutes and knock on the window to make sure that you're alive. Just saying. I would not recommend it. And I'm surprised that the kid from the Idaho murders didn't know better, but to each their own. Anyway, guys, do you have any questions? I'm gonna do a whole video, not a live particularly, but just really breaking down some of the details and things that I've read that I've found to be pretty interesting. There is a lot. The LA Times dropped an article, US Weekly, everyone is doing this. And I want to be the first to say a couple of things. One, Erika is working with the feds, allegedly. I told you guys this months and months and months ago. You can go back in my videos. I forget what we were talking about, but I said, she's working with the feds. I know she's working with the feds. She's got to be working with the feds. She's working with the feds. And you know what she's going to do? She's going to sell her story. She's going to sell her story to Hulu. She's going to sell her story to Netflix. Okay. Erika's not stupid. And then she's going to write a book about it. And people are going to buy it. They're going to buy it. And she's going to say that she doesn't have to pay back the victims, that Tom's going to take care of that. So she's going to keep all the proceeds. Or she'll say that the proceeds are going to go to the victims and she just won't give them to the victims like Diana tried to do. Diana going on Instagram saying she donated $10,000 to the Indonesian victims. They're probably wondering, what do you mean you donated money? I mean, can you imagine being somebody that you're owed money to, and then that you hear somebody talking about how they're going to donate all this money to help you get paid and you never see any of it? I mean, that's insane and shameful, because Diana, 10,000, she spits at $10,000. She should have made it like $100,000 and make up for her being an asshole. Gosh, glad she's not coming back. Not really happy. Don't want to see Crystal full time. Her husband freaks me out. He freaks me out because he was also, like, editor on The Lion King, and we've all heard about whatever. But I don't know what we're gonna do about Beverly Hills. It's a mess, guys. Anyways, stay tuned. Like I said, I'm gonna do a deep dive into everything that's going on with the Girardis and kind of do a timeline and put it together for you guys, because this is my expertise. Girardi, I started to do a little series. I was gonna call it Legal Lessons with Lindsay, because again, I didn't think that people were understanding the magnitude of the indictment. Criminal indictment. Everyone just thought this was like another civil suit. So I really wanted to make sure that everyone understood that there is a lot of jail time behind these charges. A lot of jail time. I mean, not that, I mean, he I hate to say this, but like, if somebody said you could spend as much money as you wanted, I mean, obviously, say there were like no victims involved and you were, I don't know where you were getting the money, making it maybe, and you wouldn't get caught till you were 80 some years old. Like, what does he care if he goes to prison now? Really? He's lived his whole life. His legacy is shit, but who cares? Because he's, he's reaped all the benefits of having the legacy. um Everyone, he has kissed his ass for years and years and helped him get away with stuff, and everyone in town knew that he was stealing, and nobody had enough. I don't know what it takes to expose somebody, but it's important to remember, guys, here, that the government didn't expose Tom Girardi. They didn't come knocking at his door with a criminal indictment because they found out he was breaking the law, because there were 139 complaints made to the California State Bar. It was actually the people, the victims, who were filing the civil suits that exposed Tom Girardi. So let's remember again who exposed Tom Girardi for this whole entire possibly $1 billion Ponzi scheme. Who exposed him for it? Was it the feds? No. Was it the state of California? No. Was it the LAPD? No, it wasn't any of them. It was the victims who didn't get paid. And it still took the feds how long to come up with an indictment? I mean, it's 2023. At least they came out with one. Happy to hear that. If Erika does not, if we don't hear anything about her being on any secret indictments, she's 1000% cooperating. And she's going to sell her story, and she's going to write a book, and she's going to pay the victim, or she's going to play the victim, and therefore none of her proceeds will have to go towards the actual victims. She's going to lay all of that restitution on Tom Girardi, and then he is going to eventually not wake up one day. And what will happen to all of those people that are owed that money? Who's going to pay it then? Is there going to be an estate that makes money off Tom after he dies? What happens to millions and millions and millions of dollars that's owed to victims and widows? And they put all that restitution on Tom Girardi, and then they put him in prison, and he eventually just, he has to sometime. And then what happens? These people never, ever get their money because Erika's not going to take responsibility for it, because Erika has been very adamant that she's waiting on the court system to work things out, that she's waiting on the court to sort everything out, waiting for the court to tell her what to do with the earrings. And she may have even tried to play them about the earrings. They didn't even get the right earrings. We don't know if Erika purposely gave them the wrong earrings. This is when the judge ordered that she had to return they were like, I don't know, were they $1 million pair of earrings, diamonds? And Tom Girardi, the audacity of that man to go into a jewelry shop, and he basically wrote the check out of the other people's account, the victim's account, for the earrings. That's why Erika had to give them back, because there was a direct line from the jeweler to the trust account of the victim. Like, Tom was so ballsy that he didn't even try to transfer the money into a different account and pay from it from there. He was like, no, well, I'm Tom Girardi and nobody's going to do anything about it, so I'm just going to take it directly from the victim's account and pay for it that way. And so that's why she was ordered to give those earrings back. And now they don't even think that they are the right earrings, that she could have gave them a different pair, probably less valuable. So even when Erika is told to cooperate, she doesn't. She doesn't want to give money back. She doesn't care that these people don't get paid. She does not care. She doesn't. And she's going to write a book about how she didn't care this whole time. JoJo says each one was $750,000. Thank you. And Kayla said, and I have such fond memories of Erin Brockovich. I agree with you. I loved Erin Brockovich. And then I also found out that Tom, I don't think, was as big involved. Like, I think he had a really small office with like somebody else. And he had been like in the LA scene with the attorneys, but he was like known as like a bookworm. Like, he was very introvert. That's all I know, though. But Erin, being a woman, went out there and figured out what was going, and really, put him on the map. And once you said, oh, it's the attorney from the Erin Brockovich case, people knew exactly what Erin Brockovich was. A very big movie when it came out, had Julia Roberts in it. I don't think DVDs weren't even out at that time. It was on like VHSs. But it was a big movie. It was a big deal. And she exposed, this company that was poisoning this whole community of people with cancer. And so when people would say, oh, it's her husband was the guy with the whole Erin Brockovich. Oh, okay. Like, that gives you some status. Automatically you think wealth, because the case ended up being like the biggest settlement amount in like history. That was another reason that the Aaron Brockovich case was known, not necessarily just because of everything that Aaron did, but because of the fact that they got the most money ever um, from that company for those people. And thankfully, that was before Tom was stealing from his clients. So they likely got their settlement. The burn victim that you see, um, he's the man with the dark hair and glasses. He was in the Hulu series, and he was in the Santa Bernardina fires explosion. And he was the one who wanted his money for his surgeries because he had so much damage and burn, because he was a burn victim. But not only was he a burn victim, his girlfriend was sitting beside him on the couch, and when the explosion happened, she died. I mean, she was just literally, she died right there beside him. And the trauma of something like that, I don't know if it would ever leave you. So for this man to not even be able to get his settlement money to pay to even have the surgeries for his own body and scars and skin grafting, that's painful and it's a process. And think of the therapy that he would have to go through after the trauma of something like that. And then you can't even get your settlement money. And Tom Girardi was taking him out to dinner and bullshitting him so badly that it was almost disrespectful. And that's what he said. Like, he quit even trying to talk to Tom because it was just like he lied. And it was such a blatant lie that it was almost disrespectful. Jojo says, did she hit 5,000? I've been watching and counting. Did I hit 5,000? I have been waiting to hit 5,000. That's what happens on YouTube. It's like all of a sudden, like, you'll just stop growing for the longest time, and then it'll happen, and you'll get some more, and then it'll stop, and then you'll get some more. So hopefully I did. If I did, I'm excited. Thank you guys. Make sure you hit the like button. I did. Thank you. I hit 5,001. I appreciate you guys so much. I told you guys, listen, Jersey and Girardi are my expertise, okay? Like, this is my time. I don't know what to call it, but this is my time. I love the legal commentary as far as it pertains to Tom Girardi and Erika, and I love New Jersey. Did you guys see the 7-minute clip that was released? Oh, I feel like Jersey is going to have mothers turning on their daughters. It's going to be so bad. Angel says, oh, my daughter's name is Jessica. Oh, thank you so much. Also, Make It Make Sense is in the comments too. Just wanted, I know he was like going through some things and he was sharing it on his channel. So we wanted to say we were thinking of him and we appreciate, love when people share their stories. Melissa Feaster, she shared about some domestic violence that she went through on her podcast with Teresa. So we really love when people just get raw, authentic, and share with us because it helps us relate to each other because we all struggle, right? Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. I'm excited. I'm getting more focused, right? Also, guys, going around today, I wanted to keep you up to speed with that. There's a lot going on with New Jersey. Oh, and then Robin Dixon, what is she doing? Even Carlos King is coming out and speaking not very good. He even said it's bullshit that she kept this a secret this whole time and that she should not have done that. That was a bad move. Where's her publicist? Where are her people? Does she not run that past anyone? Mia, what did she? Oh, Mia told everyone to F y'all. Do you guys want to hear what Mia said? Oh, Mia. I don't know what she got so mad about, but she got mad about something. So I'll read it to you guys so that you can hear it. It may be Ronald Richards DM'd me back. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully I have it on here. She said that something she was done with y'all. And then she basically said to F off. So I was kind of surprised. that she said that. I do know, sorry, I have a lot of the legal documents that I'm going to talk about in one of my other videos too, guys. I won't put you through it in a live. Chris Bassett, he says, so wait, there were truths that were omitted and not filmed during our season as a cast. We choose to tell falsehoods and lies about innocent people all season long, but now we are charging for the truth. What the F? And he got 8,000 likes on it, almost 1,000 shares, and 300 comments. Kayla says, I guess it's the end of the adventures in Bravo for Robin. I think so too. That was a bad move. I don't know if some of these ladies don't have publicists or people, agents. I mean, I don't know. Do they not have people that they run these sort of things past? Or I'm surprised that a lot of the housewives that do things themselves and they don't pay people to do them. Angel says, I saw the whole video from Carlos. Yeah, he was like calling out the bullshit, and he's so right about it, because it is, you can't do that. She did it on her Patreon. Like, that is so cheesy. Who does that? Oh, publicist, that's funny. Look at how she dresses. I mean, that's a stylist, though. The publicist doesn't style, do they? I thought the publicist was more like the press stuff. This, I mean, yeah, she definitely needs somebody to help her sometimes. That dress, I did not like the confessional dress, the one that went around her neck. It made, her look. Robin's gorgeous, and she has some nice confessional looks. When she wore that yellow dress last year, half off the shoulder, hair on top of her head, 2 pieces of hair hanging down, she looked fire. But she didn't pull that this season. And that little dress around the neck with like the beaded and the colors, I did not like that. And she ended up wearing that to the wedding. And I don't know if it's the wedding that her and Juan had or the wedding that she attended. Oh, she was saying, I'm saying she's cheap. Oh yeah, she's cheap. Publicist, you're right. She definitely wouldn't be paying for a publicist or stylist. Angel, I said Mia's life is really falling apart and she doesn't want it out. I think so too. I agree with you. She's definitely worried about her position. Their finances are not great at all. They put all that money into that rental house and then they moved again since. Somebody asked her actually on Watch What Happens Live. They said, Mia, are you mad that you put 60,000? First of all, I remember talking to you guys about this, right? We were talking about the fact that you can know wealth sometimes because of the fact that if you are going to move somewhere and you have money, then you probably have a good credit score, then you're not going to go somewhere and live in a home and pay somebody else money every single month to live there, because it can be like throwing money away. I mean, obviously it's okay to rent. There's nothing wrong with renting at all. But I'm saying for people who are supposedly millionaires, it wouldn't be a big deal to go in there and buy that house and make monthly payments until they're ready to move again, because their money isn't tied up. They have the money to do it. They have the credit score to do it, because it seems a little bit wild to move into a rental home. Okay, so you're going to pay monthly to live there. Okay, and then you're going to put $60,000 into your rental home that you've only lived in. I don't even think they lived in it until they did the renovations. I think they did like the $60,000 in renovations before Mia and the family even moved in. And so on Watch What Happens Live, someone said, are you upset that you put $60,000 into that rental house and then you had to move? Because, then what? And Mia said that she wasn't, because they let her out of her lease early. I mean, you wanted out of your lease because you couldn't afford where you were living. I don't know how that would have saved the money, though. I don't know. That's just me. Why not mortgage if you can afford it? Exactly, Jojo. Exactly. RHOP is advertised as affluent on Peacock. We are waiting. I swear. Meanwhile, Miami's over here killing it, and we don't hear anything about it on Bravo. I'm like, Bravo's like the big sister that's jealous of Peacock because she's starting to shine. Just saying. All right, guys. Well, I'm not going to keep you any longer. I just wanted to hop on, talk a little bit about that. Like I said, I'm going to be going in depth on the Girardis and on the timeline and what we have to be looking forward to. I think the court date is February 6th, if I am correct. I don't know when we're going to hear Erika speak on it. I'm thinking she may be using this for part of her storyline this season, too, guys. Think about it. It's actually perfect timing for her because they are starting to film The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It's like it just fell on her lap because she was going to struggle because she didn't have Lisa Rinna she doesn't have Lisa Rinna this season. She's out Lisa Rinna. She was probably nervous, and by the grace of God, perfect timing, in comes the feds, and they arrest Tom Girardi. Listen, guys, I want to tell you something. The same way that the feds came for Jen Shah, they were coming because she got indicted, and they were coming to serve a federal indictment. Do you guys remember? They came with guns. They came to her house. They took the kids outside. They tracked down the Bravo Sprinter van, right? They had an indictment for Jen Shah and a warrant for her arrest, and that's what they did. And that is basically what they should have. The same exact thing is what should have been done for Tom Girardi. Knock, knock, boom. We have an indictment and a warrant for your arrest for wire fraud, yada, yada, yada. So that's why I'm still just over here stuck. And that's again why I don't think it's picking up with the Bravo community how serious the magnitude of these charges are, because it's the same thing. They should have done the same exact thing for Tom, but that's how our judicial system really fails us, because what is good for one is not good for the other. But criminal wise, that's the same level of treatment Tom Girardi should have got, because they both had the federal charges. So, just saying, that is the truth. Haley, happy birthday! Do you want me to sing happy birthday in my Marilyn Monroe voice? I'm just joking. I would never do that. G was embarrassment to his family because he lived in the strip club Mia was working at. Mia said he used to walk around with his shoes off. Angel, I do vaguely remember her saying that. You're right. Something about his shoes off. And did you hear her say, that maybe Ray said that Karen could be with other men because Ray can't climb up the steps, and if he can't climb up the steps, then he can't climb up on Karen? I was like, okay. Okay, Mia. Sometimes you're a little bit funny, and a lot of times you miss the mark. And last thing I'm going to say about Potomac. Why do the women have to take pictures of their outfits, send it into production, and get it approved for whatever they're filming, the event that they're filming? They have to get their looks approved through production first. It's the same thing with their confessionals, same thing with the reunion. Then why does production let them show up wearing the same outfit? I said this whenever Erika Jane and Lisa Rinna were both wearing that pink suit, and Erika was having that party at her Pasadena house. If you guys remember, it doesn't make any sense to me that these women have to take pictures, show production exactly what their look is going to be for each event, get it approved, and then you still have two people who end up wearing the same thing. How does that happen? Is production doing that on purpose? Or do the women want to wear, they each, maybe you get to pick a favorite out of the options that you give them, and maybe if the two women, I don't know, but I just think that that's really whack that production does that. I just do. And according to Tamra Judge, she says it's hard to get clothes. I don't know, something about they go through some special company because other companies don't want to let the ladies return items. And so they say it's like hard to get certain clothes, certain colors, especially when you have like a whole cast maybe that's looking for blue dresses or purple dresses. Um, New Jersey, I'm trying to think what's going on. We got the first 6-7 minutes in New Jersey. It wasn't anything too excited. We saw Dolores and her boyfriend and Frank. We knew that was coming. I don't know. Did you guys find anything super interesting? Just saying. Who said what, Jojo? Um, Anyways, if you guys want to hear the Reasonless Shady podcast, the clip of, do you guys want to hear Robin talking about the whole Juan thing? It's on my Instagram. Here's another, nope. Chris, it's Candace's husband Chris is really going wild on Twitter because he's really angry. Please tell me Alex McCord is not going on behind the velvet rope. There was a photo. I thought that that's what it was. But anyway, guys, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, turn those notifications on. I gotta go take care of my sick baby, and she wants to play blocks. Oh, and we have our iPad isn't with our blocks. That's awesome. Okay, I love that idea. Can you not get it out? All right, perfect. All right, guys. Well, I hope you have a great day. Like I said, I'm going to be doing an extensive video with all the details on the case, break it down for you guys. So put your notifications on, hit that like button, follow, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Have a great